Hey guys, it's me again. Just shot a video of me hanging out at Shibuya crossing, walking around. And now that I'm headed to Shinjuku, I thought, why don't I do a video where I share with you guys, for those of you that haven't experienced it or even seen it perhaps online, why don't I show you how entertaining and wild and crazy in the most delightful way it is to use the train system in Tokyo. I remember from my previous experience traveling here that there's multiple different lines and I believe multiple companies. So when you look at a map of the subway system, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in other major cities in the world. Like for example, Toronto, London, New York City, various cities I've been to. It's usually operated by the city. And the first thing I need to figure out is where the actual train station is. Oh, there it is. I think I see it. Okay, well, this video just got even more entertaining because I thought I knew where to enter. Okay, I see it. It's over there. Here, let me show you. I have no doubt that there's multiple ways to get into the train station. Okay, well, this is perfect, actually, because the first thing you need to do is figure out how to actually access the trains. And this is a perfect example. I thought I knew exactly where I was going to start this video. And the truth is, I'm already twisted and turned around. So what I'm going to do now is just try to find any way to get in there. And I think, oh, there it is over there. I see another one. I'm going to go to that one. I'll show you. Over there, I don't know if you can see it. It says Ginza Line, Shibuya Station. That's the one I'm going to try. So when we get in there, I'm going to show you a map and show you how it's like all these lines, multicolored lines weaving around, how challenging it can be to make sense of it. And I experienced this as soon as I got off the plane yesterday and was immediately brought back to my previous experience visiting Tokyo, where I think of myself as a relatively experienced traveler who shouldn't have any difficulty navigating the local subway system or transit system. And yet I found myself totally perplexed by, do I take the express or the local train? Is that one the luxury train? Is this the commuter train? When do they leave? Which direction do I go? So I found myself having to rely on the kindness of others, both fellow travelers and some of the people working there. Of course, you know, people are so friendly in Japan that I usually have no difficulty getting some assistance. So right now what you're going to experience with me is a real world case study example of what it's like when you're traveling and you know you have a goal. And let's say you don't want to rely on technology and use your phone, or maybe your phone's died and you need to just use your common sense, your intuition, and you need to rely on your willingness to ask strangers for help to try to figure out how to get where you want to go. So this is the station I saw earlier, Shibuya Station, and probably there's multiple ways to enter the station. This is just one of them. And I don't know for sure that this is the way to get to Shinjuku, but that's what we're gonna do right now, is try to check it out. So I'll show you the map right now. So the first thing I would do, obviously, is come over here and see what the map has to say. So we are, where are we? Shibuya. I feel like it's here. There we are, Shibuya, I found it. And I know from previous experience, Shinjuku's up here. So this actually looks really, really straightforward. It looks like we want to just take this line and go straight up there. This could be super simple. Okay, maybe I thought this was going to be a super entertaining video, but it's going to be super simple. But check these maps out. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. Oh my God. Look at this. So now I think I know what I'm doing, which is taking potentially this F train And now the next thing I need to do is figure out how to acquire a ticket. So I think if I go over here, I think the only way in here is with a ticket, or maybe I can talk to the person there. But before I do that, I'm gonna wait my turn to use the machine here. Oh, it looks like it just became available. And see if I can figure this out. Okay, so it's always welcome when I can just press English. So far, so good. Purchase a ticket. Okay, search by station name. Okay, so I wanna go there. I wanna go S. Shinjuku. Okay, so that looks hopeful. Boarding station, Shibuya. A lighting station, Shinjuku. Now, okay, it says Shinjuku and then it has another word. So then I need to understand, is that relevant? Okay, let's see. No, that looks right. Shinjuku. So that is the same. Okay, it's been canceled. You snooze, you lose, folks. Purchase a ticket. Search by station name. Spell out Shinjuku. Shinjuku. Oh, look, there's two. I've just noticed. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. I thought it was simple, it was just that one, but now you can see there's all of these different ones. So now I gotta figure out which one to buy and then which one to get on. So there's the Tokyo Metro line and then this other line. So I think I'll do the Tokyo Metro line. Let's choose this one. This seems hopeful. Now, money. Okay, so now I'm gonna try putting this in here and hope for the best. Okay, that's good. Okay. Here comes the change. And the ticket. Okay. Put this change in my pocket. I'm not really used to handling change anymore. Okay. So now, okay, I feel good, folks. This is good. I feel like it's likely I will be able to somehow get in here. But where does the ticket go? Where do I put the ticket? Do I put it here? No, I've got to put the ticket in something. Or maybe I go here. Okay, there. Oh, arigato, thank you. Okay, close call, folks. Okay, Ginza line. I don't think that's the right one. Now, so is there another line? You guys are probably thinking, oh yeah, it's this one, isn't it? No, I don't know. Shibuya. Shinjuku. Ginza line. Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait. See, now this is great. You guys are actually experiencing my confusion. Now, I don't know if this is because I'm not the great traveler that I thought I was, or if this is objectively confusing. But now this is where I'm going to need help. Let's see if I can ask this guy. Excuse me. I'm trying to go to Shinjuku, but I'm confused about where to go. Ginza line? Ginza line? Ginza line. Okay, thank you. Arigato. Okay. Ginza line. But I don't see Shinjuku on here. Where is it? Shibuya. Where is it? Shinjuku. Shinjuku. Shibuya. Welcome to my confusion, folks. Probably if I wasn't shooting this video, I would have taken like a picture of the ticket that I bought. But I feel like it was the F line. Now I'm looking at this map and I don't see a Shibuya destination. Okay, well, he pointed in this direction. So I'll go up here now and see if this is making sense. But I feel like this video is actually turning out maybe the way I'd hoped, in terms of revealing how this is never quite as straightforward as it seems. And you can either find that to be worrying and stressful, or just have a sense of humor about it. And this is kind of the way I like to travel, is just not really have any plans. Just kind of make it up as I go. And if I get confused, hopefully that means there's an opportunity to just talk to a stranger, which I think I'm desperately going to need to do, because I don't get this at all. So thankfully here at the stations they have these people here, these folks with their gloves, and I'm not sure if they're going to push me on the train or not, like I've seen in videos, but I think he might be the perfect person to help me out here. I'm optimistic. This is something you don't see around the world at a lot of train stations, is somebody who can actually steer you in the right direction. Shinjuku. I'm just waiting for my turn. They'll show you the station here. Yeah, I kind of feel embarrassed right now. I'm noticing, like, I feel embarrassed by how badly I'm failing, but the whole point of this video is that it can be embarrassing to not understand what to do. So let's see what this gentleman has to say. Hi sir, I'm trying to get to Shinjuku, but I'm very confused if it's the right line to go to Shinjuku.
Shinjuku best line is JR.
JR line?
Yeah.
Is this the right ticket?
Different company.
Okay, so is this okay, JR line. So this is a ticket for JR.
For metro.
Oh, so how do I?
Different.
So this is no good?
Yeah.
Oh, I bought the wrong ticket?
Yeah.
On the machine I typed in Shinjuku. Yeah.
This ticket is here, Shibuya.
Shibuya. Shinjuku.
This ticket is
Oh, it's the long way. I'll go the long way, that's okay. So if I go the long way? This one here? Okay.
G5.
G5. And then switch. Okay, okay. Arigato. Did you guys catch that? Okay. So, take a look at this. We are here. And I think he's just told us to go to G5. But I'm realizing that I think that's like, is G5 Asakasa? G5?
G5.
How long does it take to get there?
About 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
Yeah.
Just 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
Okay, thank you. You know, I don't know whether or not I'll share this video, because I actually feel kind of embarrassed by this. I wasn't expecting to do this perfectly, but I also wasn't expecting to do this so badly. I think this might actually be the all-time record for my worst performance of figuring out how to use public transit anywhere in the world. Which maybe the purpose of this video is to make somebody feel better about being as bad at this as I am today. So, I don't know if you guys are picking up on what I think I'm picking up on, but I think at the machine we saw that there's, like, this is a specific company with a specific line, and there's other lines, like he mentioned the JR line, that's a different line. And probably that other line is like a more direct route and the more appropriate route. But I purchased a ticket from the machine for Shinjuku, and there is a way to get there with this company, but it means I need to go in sort of not quite the right direction to then transfer to another train. And as I said to him, I don't mind taking the longer route to get there. seeing as I've already purchased this ticket and I'm already here now. But what I don't know is how much longer it's going to take. So for example, if it only takes an extra 10 or 20 minutes, no big deal. But I don't think this is going to happen right now, but there's certainly like situations where if you're going an indirect route in Tokyo, you could like burn an hour or two just like going way in the wrong direction. So I'm thinking it's probably super important, as best you can, to not make this mistake I'm making now by getting on the wrong line in the first place. Like if it's the wrong company and the wrong line, and if today like timing is not really that important, but if you have like you're trying to get somewhere on time, like let's say when I'm trying to get to the airport, I definitely can't afford to make this mistake then. So for now, this is going to be an interesting experiment. I'm going to take this to G5, and then when I get there, I'm going to have to figure out, is there a train that goes directly from G5 to Shinjuku? Feeling hopeful that might be the case. We'll find out. I don't want to show you a map right now. Let's see if you can check it out. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see here. Whoops. Okay, so we're arriving at G3, but what I'm looking for is the map that actually...
Arriving at
G3. So I think that map there I just showed you is probably the map that would explain what line I need to transfer to. But the problem with that one is it's entirely in Japanese. So many of these maps have English on them, or at least have a number on them, like this G5 situation. But that's a map that's entirely in Japanese. When I see that, I feel two things. I feel thrilled and excited by the fact that I'm in another country and experiencing another culture, and I've got to figure it out, and I can't just rely on English to be spoken or used on signage. And on the other hand, I'm horrified. Not really. But on the other hand, I'm like slightly worried that if I can't rely on what I know, then I might be unable to achieve my goal of getting to Shinjuku. I might never get to Shinjuku. Forget about today. It might never happen for me. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So G5 is where we're going. There's three lines that transfer there. One of them is brown, which I feel good about because I feel like the ticket I bought was possibly for a brown line. But I don't actually think that's true because I noticed it wasn't the letter F, it was the letter Y. And earlier when we saw that very direct route, which was probably the ticket I was supposed to buy, and I'm guessing maybe it was for the JR line, that was brown, that was F. And that was for a different company. So probably this brown one with the letter Y at the next stop is probably not correct. I'm looking at a sign out there now, and it looks like there is M, Y, Z, and N. So there are 4 trains, and based on what that gentleman said at the last platform, I think there's an extremely good chance that one of those 4 is going to take me to Shinjuku. I'm going to make it there after all. And there will be hope for me yet. Right now I'm thinking it's a good thing this video didn't start with me saying how some people find it confusing to use the train system in Tokyo, but I'm a genius and it's effortless for me. I would have really set myself up, but if memory serves, I think I was humble at the beginning and explained that it can be very challenging. So this video is on point if that's the case. I feel like there's some people watching me talk to this camera and either they think it's silly or maybe they think it's cool that I'm potentially a YouTuber. I can't tell, but I'm definitely noticing some people glancing at me. I'm hoping it's not obnoxious. And one thing I learned I was able to do on the train ride in Vancouver with that video I shot is I can speak relatively quietly. Like right now I'm speaking at a volume that is consistent with, you know, I can hear people around me speaking at the same volume with each other. And that's important to me because whether it's in Japan, which is a very polite society, or anywhere, I wouldn't want to be filming in public if I was being one of those people. I wouldn't want to be obnoxious by dominating the environment. So the next stop is G5. There we go. We are doing pretty well, folks. If we're lucky, at the next station there's going to be I don't know whether I want to call them a conductor. I don't know what the right word is. One of the representatives of the company on the platform. If I'm lucky, there'll be one of those individuals around here, and I can just simply show him my ticket and ask him about Shinjuku. But I actually don't see one of them at this station, so the plot thickens. Okay, here's some options. There's the green line, the N line, the Y line, the Z line. So I am in desperate need of a map that I can make sense of. It is going to show me, hopefully, Shinjuku. Let's see, let's start with the M line. Do we see Shinjuku?
The local train bound for Ikebukuro is arriving at.
No Shinjuku, so it's not the M line. So there's, okay, I got it. There's 4 lines. One of them is here on the other side of the platform. That's the M line. And now I'm going to proceed this way, where there's 3 other lines. And hopefully one of those 3 lines is going to lead me in the right direction. There was a moment with that gentleman at the previous station where he was trying to help me out and keep my life simple and just suggest that I go to the JR line, keep my life simple. And I rejected his suggestion. And I'd like to think it was for the purposes of this video, but maybe I was just too cheap to buy a second ticket. Okay, this is hopeful. So where are we? I'm looking to see where we are. If I'm lucky, it's going to say you are here somewhere. There's Shibuya. G5, that's here. Shinjuku is there. Shinjuku. So that looks like the M line. Shinjuku. M line, Shinjuku. But I didn't see 9 or 10. 8, 9, or 10. Maybe 8. But I didn't see that on the map. Oh, okay. Excuse me, do you know if Shinjuku is the M line? The M line to go to Shinjuku? Is it down here? Oh, she's helping me out. She's looking. No? Okay. I think it's... This lady's being super helpful. Because it's the M line. Shinjuku would be M8. Oh, this one. Marunouchi. Up here? Up here.
To number 2.
Number 2?
Yes.
Okay, arigato. Thank you, thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Oh, she was so sweet. I didn't want to film her because I'm not sure if that's the right etiquette or not. But she was very sweet. She kind of stepped away to go look at the signs, and then she looked it up on her phone. And she helped me clarify something I was struggling to understand, which is apparently it's this direction. So, okay, I get it now. This is where we just were, M13 to M25. So that's one direction. We need to go the other direction and go probably M13 to M1, which is this way. Okay. Is that the sign to set us free? There it is. Oh my God, this is the moment. This is the moment, guys. M8. Oh my God, this is the moment. There's been so many times in my life when I've traveled solo and set out to do something that seems pretty straightforward. And for whatever reason, whether it's me not being brilliant or me being confused or sleepy or just making a simple mistake or there's a language barrier, this feels familiar. And if there is a situation where like I'm trying to catch a flight or something, it can be very stressful. Today it's just funny. So we are at M. I think that we need to go, just looking at this sign right now, we're going to M9. So, okay, the good news is we're on the right train. We're definitely going to Shinjuku. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm just glad that we're going to get there. For the purposes of this video, I'm questioning whether to keep filming it if I need to sort of speak quietly here, not knowing how long the trip's going to be. But I also think we need to share the glory together of arriving at Shinjuku. It looks like it might only be maybe 5 stops. So why don't we hang in there and just keep going? My mind right now is flooded with memories of times that I've traveled, like I was saying before, and made mistakes as far as commuting and traveling and getting around. And one memory is when I was in Liverpool in the UK when I was 20 years old, experiencing the glory of going to the hometown of the Beatles and checking out all of the sites there. And I decided to take a ferry to Dublin, an overnight ferry, which, I don't know, is maybe like a 12-hour journey or something. And so I heard about this ferry, and it seemed kind of perfect because it was pretty cheap. Like you just, if you don't have a cabin and you just sit in a seat somewhere on the ferry, it's not particularly expensive. So it seemed like the perfect situation, much cheaper than flying over there. And I just completely underestimated getting to the ferry. I assumed that either it would be, docking near the city center, or that there'd be some sort of method of travel to the ferry that would be straightforward. And I don't know, I guess it was like more of a car ferry. There weren't really a lot of foot passengers. I can't remember why, but it ended up being in some like sketchy industrial area, like really far from the city center. I think somebody pointed me in the direction of it, and I just assumed it would take like 20 minutes to walk there. But it was more like a 2-hour walk or something. I don't know, something crazy. It's hard to remember the details. It sounds strange, but you have to remember this is before smartphones. This is before people walking around just consulting this information on their phones. And I don't think I had a map. I was just completely relying on people pointing me in the right direction. And people kept pointing me in the right direction. But it got to the point where I think it was like half an hour until it was going to depart. So I knew I probably only had like 15 or 20 minutes to get there before missing the ferry. And the consequence of missing the ferry would have meant maybe not having a place to stay that night, and missing the trip to Ireland and everything else. So I was in a full-out sprint, and I was carrying like a large travel backpack that weighed like 50 pounds or something. And it was a really sketchy industrial area. There's nobody around. And I'm just full-blown, drenched in sweat, like trying to sprint. And somehow I made it to like the gate where the cars go in. And the guy looked confused that I was even going on as a foot passenger. And I think I made it with like 2 minutes to spare or something crazy. So when I think about experiences like that, something like today is really just silly. Not really a big deal because the stakes are pretty low. Another experience, actually, I think of is riding jeepneys in the Philippines, in Manila specifically. The Filipinos out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody that hasn't been to the Philippines might not know. But jeepneys have been around, I think, basically since the aftermath of World War II. I'm no expert on this, but I think I have this right, that they were converted jeeps, like military jeeps from the US military. And so they began probably in the 1940s, I'm guessing, being used as methods of transportation, like instead of buses. And to this day, you can still ride these classic jeepneys, although I think they're being phased out in favor of newer, more modern jeepneys, which are just more like, more like modern vans, basically. But there's no, as far as I know, there's no Googling the routes for the jeepneys or like going into Google Maps. Maybe there is some way to look up the routes online, I don't know, but you can't go on Google Maps and just ask it to spell out for you the routes for the jeepneys. So for me, I was just having to kind of look to see if I could see any jeepneys, sort of get a sense of whether they're more or less going in the right direction, and just hope for the best. And of course, it's all about you're constantly swapping out from one to the other. And Manila is a really large city with a lot of different areas and a lot of people and a lot of moving parts. So there's initially a few times I was riding with friends. It was pretty straightforward. You learn to get on, you sit near the front, or at least I do, so I can talk to the driver. You say bayad po, and you pay for your ride. And I was having some success, probably doing some pretty straightforward routes. And then I decided one day I was going to Alabang town center to go busk there. And I think maybe the first time I had taken a Grab, like a Uber, just like take a car and get driven there. But that's no fun, right? So I appreciate having that option as a fallback, but it's a lot more fun to do something that's specific to the culture where you are, right? So I decided to try to figure out to take jeepneys from BGC, which is fairly far away, and there is no jeepney that goes directly from BGC to Alabang. I better pay attention to where we are. It'd be kind of perfect for this video if I completely lost track of where we are. M10. Okay, I think looks like there's 3 or even 4 different Shinjuku stops. There's 4 different stops that have the word Shinjuku in it. And the third one is just Shinjuku. So I'm pretty sure the third one is the main Shinjuku station. It's basically an assumption, but I think that's a reasonable assumption. So this was the first of 4 stations that have Shinjuku in the name. So I'm gonna go 2 more stops. We're at M10, I'm gonna go to M8, and then we're gonna be there, folks, so stay tuned for the glorious moment that we actually arrive together at Shinjuku. So yeah, I decided to go to Alabang Town Center from BGC, knowing that there would be no direct jeepney, that I'd have to just keep swapping out one for the other. The trouble was, it wasn't at all intuitive which one to get on, where to switch or whatever, so I had to rely on just chatting with people. And a lot of the Filipinos I met that day didn't speak English, so we weren't able to communicate directly. There was a lot of just like pointing and kind of like, I think I would mention Alabang Town Center and they'd have a sense of it. So just totally relying on the kindness of strangers to just keep like telling me to get off one Jeep, get into another. I think there's a couple times where like a driver would like wave down another driver and they just kept passing me along. Everybody like working together to try to help me get where I'm going. And it felt like it wasn't a common occurrence. Like it really felt like not a lot of tourists do that for whatever reason. So it was really strange and unusual for them, and hopefully funny. And just sort of like a funny, quirky experience for everybody involved. But on the way there, it was afternoon, it was daytime, and it was, you know, it was tricky, but it was basically harmless. The mistake that I made, and I really should have known better, in retrospect it seems so foolish, but the mistake that I made is because I'd managed to make my way down there, one way or the other, I was arrogant in believing that I could do the same going back. I was like, well, if I made it this way, just kind of do the same thing in reverse. Trouble is, it was nighttime, it was dark. It was getting pretty late, it was like maybe 10 or 11 p.m. And I was having to go through some areas which I've been warned not to go to at night. And because I wasn't just getting on a jeepney with a specific route and just going straight to where I was going, I was having to get off in some areas where it probably wasn't very safe, and I probably was a bit of a target, to be honest. And the reason I believe that is because there was at least one woman in particular, actually, who was really alarmed and worried that I was out there at all, and that I seemed to have no idea what I was doing. And she went out of her way to get off one of the jeepneys with me. By the way, we've arrived at Shinjuku Station. We made it. In 1 second, I'm gonna walk outside and we'll check out Shinjuku together as we emerge. But just to finish the story, that woman really looked out for me, and I think if it wasn't for her kindness, I could have found myself in a really sketchy situation. So that's another example of a time when that's an example of where I was arrogant, I think. So you gotta, when you're traveling, of course, pick your battles. It's fun to go on adventures like this today, but you also gotta be safe and use common sense to avoid situations that might be a little bit sketchy. You wanna have a good time and experience adventure, but not put yourself in harm's way. Okay, so now the next question is, now that I believe that we're at Shinjuku, the question is, where should I emerge? There's an east gate and a west gate, and because I have no idea, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go to the west gate just because it's closer, and I feel pretty good about this overall. I'm not sure if this video is going to hold up, but I am glad I've documented it because it was, as anticipated, a somewhat challenging experience today. And I guess this video is for anybody out there who wants to know, is it just me that feels sheepish and awkward about trying to use public transit while traveling abroad? No, it's also me when I'm in Tokyo. But you know what? Practice makes perfect, folks. So we are practicing. Okay, now there's multiple ways to exit here. And this is the next question, is where on earth am I going? And I have absolutely no idea. So I'm just gonna go through the first turnstile that I'm able to. And many of these don't have slots for tickets. So I'm going to choose the one that does. And maybe I'll show you a bit more about what's going on around here. And I have no idea what direction I'm going. I just have faith in this direction. And when there's a lot of people around, as there is here in Tokyo and in places like Manila, sometimes you gotta just keep moving. You don't wanna dilly-dally too much and get in other people's way. So if it was really important for me to determine which exit is the appropriate one, then I could probably just like step to the side somewhere here and ponder this, maybe use my phone to gain more information. But because it's not really that important, and in the spirit of this video, I might as well keep the chaos going. I'm just gonna keep moving and assume that at some point there's gonna be a way out of here. I see an elevator behind me, but I'm gonna keep moving up here. People moving in every direction. And you can see here, there's all these are all like intersections for other lines. So, like everywhere I look.
Hello, welcome to Japan. Enjoy, bye bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Bye bye.
There you go. So, I don't really have any knowledge of whether this is leading outside or just to another train. Shinjuku Station. If you think about like the Canada line in Vancouver, whoa, it's so straightforward. There's two cars on every train. There's like one way in, one way out, basically. Very, very simple. It actually would be really funny if the only experience a person had ever had was taking the Canada line like 3 stops in Vancouver. And then you just drop them in the situation. You know what? I've got good news. For the first time, I just saw the word exit. I don't know if you can see it. But I saw, there it is there. So now, I have faith that exiting will happen. It could be the case, for all I know, that we've walked so far down here that we have walked, away from Shinjuku underground. But we're about to find out. This is the fun of it, is I don't know what is going to be outside when we emerge. But I'm stoked to be here because this was another place I think I visited briefly when I visited in 2010. Today, the mission is to try to find some buskers. I don't know if there are any buskers here. My friend Jude told me that buskers do play here sometimes, and that they tend to play at 6 to 8 p.m. or maybe 6 to 8 p.m. is sort of prime time. But we made it. We actually made it. I believe it cost 180 yen, if memory serves. And that's probably the equivalent of about $1.50 in Canadian dollars. So for $1.50, we were able to get here. It took us 44 minutes from when this video started. And one of many adventures that I'll be experiencing here in my time in Tokyo. So many more adventures to follow. Let me give you another look of Shinjuku here. Lots of people everywhere. Oh, arigato. Arigato gozaimasu, everybody. And see you next time.